What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And we're here to answer the age-old question: what are those things? Yeah, we're going to be looking at armor, how to upgrade it, transmuting, all that stuff in today's video. So stick around. All right, so before we jump into everything, just want to give a big shout out. Thank you for everybody who's supporting the channel, everybody that's hit that sub button. We've been getting pretty good views on all the videos, so appreciate that. Make sure leave a comment down below if you have any questions on any of the stuff that we go over, or you have a suggestion for the next video. And yeah, let's jump into just transmuting armor, upgrading armor, because I see this question everywhere on Discord, Facebook, all the different areas. So let's kind of break it down real quick. So before we jump into these actual transmutation and those items, I want to just talk briefly about the armory itself. Again, as you upgrade your armory, you're going to get a lot better equipment. This is going to get higher levels, just more stats, all that kind of stuff. So you'll see as you upgrade your war room, you're going to be able to upgrade your armory. And this is actually, in my opinion, the slowest upgrade room that you have out there, because there's kind of two factors to it. One is you actually have to make equipment. And then when you make this equipment and you don't have to use the equipment anymore, you have to deconstruct the equipment. So again, the stuff you're not using, as you can see, I've already broken all my stuff down, but as you don't use that, you will deconstruct it. It's going to give you these building blocks, and then you'll be able to upgrade each of the levels based on that. And again, once you get up in the 30s, this takes a good while. You're going to be using a lot of your daily quests and different things like that to try to get as much alloy as you can, just to make a couple pieces of armor. And again, as you upgrade this, you'll see 34 is really where you want to be for gear, because this is where you're guaranteed that mythic plus armor, the level 500 armor, again, for all the different classes. And then, of course, 35 is where you're going to get the mirror cell, the mirror cells to be able to use to transmute. So we're going to go through all the transmuting, what you use those for, because I know you guys are getting these in other places as well. So let's just check those out real quick. Couple different places you can get them. Of course, is the training simulator. When you're in here and you're either getting your levels here, you'll start to get them as you get a little bit higher in the levels. And again, this will take a while. So this is just one of those games where you just got to kind of plug and plug and plug, and eventually you'll start getting them. Another place is the actual breakdown. So again, once you get to, I think it's 301, in some of these different areas, you'll start to get rewards. So I'm at 368 up here. You can see I'm getting mirror cells. So this is one of the easier places to get them. Again, it's not easy in general, but you know, focusing in on the Justice League one, or one of the ones that you have a really good team for, it does have to be one of the larger ones. So again, the ones with 500 levels to it, you'll beat the other two before you get any of these mirror shards. But the bigger ones that go up to 510, these are where you're going to get those mirror shards once you get up in the level 300 or so as you go through. And again, they're always adjusting these rewards as you go. So we may see those actually come to you quicker compared to where it was before. And the last place that you can get these, of course, is the store. They've added them to a few different places. So you've got the mystery store here, I believe. Occasionally you may see them in some of the other ones, but the mystery store definitely has them in here. But again, these are going to be super late game. Keep in mind, when it comes to where your focus should be with characters, it's definitely going to be making sure you get the simulators, so make sure you can upgrade and level, get past the level caps. You can see with my characters, I've already got past the final level cap, so I don't need simulators anymore. I need experience, but honestly, at this point, I feel like I'm in the late game. So my anti-crime network, I'm switching up to the alloy, getting that a lot to try to get to these final levels of the armory. You're going to get the transmute ability once you actually get an item that has a tag associated with it. So if we look at our Superman, we've got the level 500. So again, it needs to be that level 500 gear plus with a tag. Once you have that, you're going to unlock all the transmuting abilities. And the thing to kind of note is you can transmute pieces that do not have the tag. So, if you have a whole bunch of these mirror pieces, but I have a feeling these will slow down. So you can see I've got quite a bit here. I've only transmuted a few things, but these things will start to slow down of getting it. And then you'll have to use your Armory to do that rather than get gear, which again, I really think this is a late game thing for optimization on your characters, but just kind of focus in the areas that you need. Again, if it doesn't have a tag, it is kind of a good thing because you get to move it around. You can put it on any character, it doesn't matter. But realistically, I'm only going to transmute stuff, at least personally, that has a tag, because I know that this is going to be the gear I'm going to use on either my main characters or multiple main characters and move them around based on the team. What I'm focusing on personally is Justice League Dark and Justice League. So you can see I've already started messing with this one piece on my Superman. And then I believe I have a Justice League Dark piece maybe on my Dr. Fate. Yeah, so I've got a Dr. Fate piece I just got yesterday, I believe. So I'll start to transmute that one. That's the one we're going to look at just so you can see it from scratch as we go through. But there are a couple pieces to understand when you do the transmutes on this gear. So once you get it unlocked, once you're ready to go, you're going to have this transmute button. You're going to hit that transmute, and this is going to show you a couple different levels. So your gear itself is just going to have the bonus that we have from the tag, the main stats of the piece of gear. And then beyond that, you can hit this transmute button. And every time you do this, it's going to add to the level of transmutation of the item. So we'll see this, and I'm going to, do this live so you guys can kind of follow along. But I'm going to hit it once, and that's going to unlock the first level. So the first level is unlocked. There's two different pieces of gear that we're going to see, or two different pieces of resources that you're going to see when you're upgrading your gear. So you're going to have the mirror cells here, and then you also have these intertrons on here. Now you do get these occasionally when you're going through the different modes, but they're very rare unless you're going to be spending a bunch of money. Because once you get this stuff unlocked, I'm going to take a step back real quick. Let's return. Let's go ahead and we'll confirm this one. That's fine for now. Once you get this unlocked, you will open one more place in the store. And this harvest piece is going to open up. And again, you may unlock this prior to this based on your ships and things like that, because this is where you're going to get your ship pieces. This is where you're going to get these pieces right here. And I'll talk about them in just a second. You'll actually see when it asks me if I want to use them. I'll explain what they're for. But I just want to kind of point out that, as you can see, $100 for 10. These are $10 a piece. They're very expensive, very rare. And even when you get them, I think I got mine in the training simulator. Yeah, so 53 more levels to get 2 more. So I'm getting them here, but you can see this is level 300, 360, 420, 480. And even with that, there's like 2 at a time. So 2, 4, 6, 8 within here. So again, you don't get them often. And you're going to see why it's very important to kind of be very stingy with them, because I've already wasted 2 of mine. And I wish I would have kind of understood this before I clicked that button. A couple times too many. So let's look at that gear again on Dr. Fate. You can see that we transmuted. That gave us our first level. There are 5 levels to unlock on an armor. And every time I hit transmute, it is going to re-roll every single stat on these attributes. So that's another important thing. So if I hit transmute one more time, you're going to see this 0 of 4,000. I got to get to 4,000 before I get my next transmutation level on this gear. If I hit it again, you can see I re-rolled. Now I have dodge. It's gray, which means it's like one of the bottom levels of stats. We're going to transmute again. We've got healing taking up. Again, Dr. Fate, not a healer. Doesn't really matter. So we're going to do this a few times. You can see I'm using 100 every time I do it. I've got purple now, so a little bit better. We've got blue coming in. And realistically, I don't care what's here. I'm just trying to get to my second level. We're going to transmute a few more times. We'll stop if we see something that's really good. But we really want to go ahead and open up that next slot. All right, so we got the next slot. So you can see we went all the way to 4,000. We got our next slot up. That was about 1,000 transmutes, or 1,000 mirror cells to get up to that level. This next one's going to take a good bit more to continue. But now you'll see that I have two different stats. And when I hit transmute, it's going to roll them both again. So you don't get to lock in anything outside of using these pieces that we talked about. So if for some weird reason I wanted to lock it in, I could click this button, and you can see now my cost uses one of those boxes. But this is a one-time lock-in, and if I were to want to lock in two, it won't let me. I've got to lock in one, and then I can continue on. So again, these are the things where you don't want to lock in anything, honestly, until you've unlocked all of these slots, because it's going to use one every single time you roll. You kind of want to save all these up until you have every slot open, and then you can start locking in the red level stuff. So I'm going to roll this just a couple more times, see if I can get something good. So we got spiritual amp up, mental up. It's okay. Let's try another time. Crit damage, a bad health roll. Energy gain bonus is nice, but it's a pretty bad roll. I do like the dodge, but let's roll it again. Let's see if we can get anything. So we got yellow here with the HP. So that is a pretty good one. Healing up, still pretty bad. We're going to roll it again. It's probably going to warn me. Yeah, so if you get anything that's kind of legendary or mythic, it's going to say, hey, are you sure you want to re-roll this one? And it's kind of prompting you to use one of your boxes and hold it. But again, this is where I messed up on some of mine. Even if you use the box, it doesn't lock it in permanently. Realistically, it should, but it doesn't. That's not how this works. So I'm just going to roll it one more time. So we will say yes. Again, bad effects. Some pretty bad effects right here. You can see we're blazing through our mirror shards. Probably should have kept that, but it's fine for now. Because realistically, again, I want to get to where we're unlocking all 5 of these at some point. So crit damage, resist. Another one of those mental is up. I think that's fine. We'll confirm. We'll lock those in for now. Big power boost. I'll show you my Superman's piece to kind of wrap a lot of this up. But you can see now on this piece of gear, we have 2 different bonuses. So again, you can easily see what's going on. We've got the Justice League Dark bonus, as well as the bonuses on these 2 items. If I were to go back to my Superman, this is one where I thought I knew how this worked, but this is where I actually got a mythic, and you can see that I locked this in already. One time, 2 times, re-rolling, and now it's still wanting me to use another red piece to keep this. And even though this is a really good stat, the amount of times I'm going to have to re-roll this to unlock all 5 of these different areas really does not make sense to lock this down. Wait till you have all 5 and then start determining what you want to lock down. And again, within this piece, it's just one of those things where it's a very, very long game when it comes to gear, when it comes to re-rolling gear. So just kind of really keep that in mind. So get a couple good stats on a piece of gear and kind of move to the next piece of gear with your character. Because again, you're going to have a lot of gear, right? So we have another Justice League here. I can transmute it. We can start to roll this one and see what we get with it. So on this one, I won't even be able to get to unlocking the second one off of these, but eventually I'll get some more mirror cells, and then we'll get to a second piece. So yeah, this is the armor. This is the gear. Again, a lot of questions out there. What are those mirror cells for? How do you roll gear? How do you make gear better? Like I said, you can definitely transmute gear without a tag, but you're not going to get the option to transmute until you get your first piece with the tag. Once you do that, it'll open it up for everything. I've seen a lot of people over in the different areas for Meta Brawl and things like that, where they have, I mean, it is a cheap thing just to transmute, roll everything once, just to go ahead and get a bonus stat on the gear. But honestly, I'm going to save all mine. It takes a long time to get these things, good. And I would rather go ahead and take my tagged ones, put them all the way up. And then again, focus on pieces of gear or tags that you have multiple characters of. I use this a lot when I'm looking at my characters. So like Justice League, again, I have some crossover between Justice League and Justice League Dark. So that Justice League gear I can hand over to Wonder Woman if I'm going to use my Justice League Dark team. Again, already working with Fate stuff here. I'll be able to move that gear if I need to Wonder Woman if she's over in the Justice League team, right? So kind of focusing in on those couple pieces, seeing where there's some crossover. You may even get some that are based on the teams or just the different factions that can be used. So like a Teen Titans piece of gear, right? Raven can use for Justice League Dark, but then you may also be able to use it for another character like maybe Starfire that's coming in just a little bit. So you just kind of want to focus in that, find those pieces of gear, because the biggest thing you don't want to do is like, hey, grab this one piece of gear for, I don't know, maybe you only use Joker, right? And then you're just putting gear on Joker, but then you're not using Joker and you can't really move it anywhere for a different team. So again, if you use Joker all the time, definitely go for it. But those are the things that I'm looking for, gear that crosses between 2 or 3 characters that I use on a couple different areas. That way, if I want to move them around, I can, and I kind of get to double up on the value that I'm investing in. So that's it with the gear. Again, if you have any questions or anything like that, feel free, leave them down in the comments. I appreciate you guys so much. And the next video should come out hopefully tomorrow, because again, I'm recording it right after this one, about 3 versus 3. So if you have questions on that and how to set up teams and all that, I've got a pretty good bit of tips coming out. So definitely check out that video once it's ready to go up. And until next time, guys, y'all take it easy.